This is the best place in the world to be a woman, researchers say, SBS News. This is the best place in the world to be a woman, researchers say. A new report has measured inclusion, justice and security to rank the top countries in the world for women. Here's how Australia compares to the rest of the world. The Women, Peace and Security Index ranked Denmark as the best place for women. Source: Getty, Media Lens King. Key points. Australia is the 11th best country in the world for women, according to the new Women, Peace and Security Index. Researchers examined indicators across aspects of security, justice and inclusion to come up with the rankings. Of the 177 countries analysed, Denmark was named the best for women, while Afghanistan was ranked worst. Australia is the 11th best country in the world to be a woman, according to a new index that ranks 177 countries in terms of women's inclusion, justice, and security. The latest named Denmark the best country for women and Afghanistan the worst. The analysis examined 13 indicators: community safety, financial inclusion, share of parliamentary seats, access to justice, and proximity to armed conflict. The index, which is published by Georgetown University's Institute for Women, Peace and Security and the Norway-based Peace Research Institute, can be used to track trends, guide policymaking, and hold governments to account. Is Australia a good country for women? Compared with other countries, Australia performed well on maternal mortality, a key indicator of access to healthcare and the responsiveness of the system to women's needs. Australia had 2.9 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births. Norway was the best in the group with 1.7 deaths, while the United States was the worst with 21.1. Australia also performed well on the sun bias indicator, which reflects a preference for boys and discrimination against women. Read more. In a big year for women, here's where Australians really stand on gender equality. In terms of safety, Australia was equal best in its group for proximity to conflict, with 0% of women living within 50 kilometers of armed conflict. According to the report, armed conflict disproportionately affects women through multiple channels, including higher risks of gender-based violence, livelihood disruptions, worsening education systems, and diminishing healthcare access. Israel was the worst in the group, with 97.2% of women living in closer proximity to conflict. But Australia ranked poorly compared to other countries for women's perception of community safety, with 54% of women reporting that they feel safe walking alone at night in the area where they live. Australia was also equal best in its group for financial inclusion, with 100% of women aged 15 and older reporting having an individual or joint account at a bank or other financial institution. The report also examined access to justice, measuring countries on a scale of 0 to 4 for women's ability to bring cases to court and seek fair trials. Australia received a 3.7, behind group leader Denmark, which received 3.96. Share this with family and friends. Recommended for you. Do you live in a yes or no area? Find out with SBS, Interactive Voice Referendum Map. Australia. Feeling depleted by work? This is how Melanie beat burnout without quitting her job. Health. Here are the Melbourne and Sydney neighbourhoods ranked among the world's coolest. Australia. This state had the second highest no vote, so why is it introducing its own voice? Politics. She once said Palestinians are airbrushed. Now she says calls for restraint are disgraceful. Politics. Here's how First Nations leaders reacted to the voice referendum result. Indigenous. Heated voice moment between Marcia Langton and Warren Mundine. Politics. As Australians reject the voice, Marcia Langton declares reconciliation dead. Politics. Topics. SBS World News. Explore SBS. SBS Home. SBS On Demand. News. Audio. Languages. What's on. TV and radio guide. Food. Indigenous. Sport. Voices. Teaching resources. Languages. Arabic. Hu Tong Hua, Mandarin. Guang Dong Hua, Cantonese. Tieng Viet, Vietnamese. Hangujao, Korean. See all languages. Contact SBS. 1-800-500-727, toll free. Help Centre. Locked Bag 028, Crow's Nest, New South Wales 1585. Follow SBS. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Copyright. Terms and conditions. Privacy. Your online preferences. Sales and advertising. Complaints. SBS Code of Practice. Careers. About Us. SBS acknowledges the traditional custodians of country and their connections and continuous care for the skies, lands and waterways throughout Australia.